so the last thing we want to do is put the parachute inside of this Kevlar felt blanket. And this is where if you ask 100 Rocketeers how to fold a parachute, you're going to get 100 answers. I have not found a way that I can say is extremely reliable. They all have some difficulties at some point. Particularly with the plastic, it'll tend to hold its shape. So if it's inside of the rocket too long, it's just going to stay bunched up and it's not going to open. So that is definitely a problem with this. I have some other parachutes which are nylon, which don't have that problem. I'm going to do a separate video on a nylon parachute. But let's deal with this parachute. This is the parachute that it comes with. And you see we have this tied on. We've got our blanket here. And I'm just going to initially just pull this straight and just fold this over once. Now, this is approximately the same size as the streamer, which is good. Now, in some of these videos, they do additional folding. I'm not really sure if that's going to be good or bad, because the more folds you put into it, the more tightly it is put together, and the more difficult it's going to be to open it up. So I'm just going to leave it like this, and I'm going to do a wrapping of the shroud lines by doing an end over end, because the end over end does not twist them. So just do end over end. And this is typically what you're going to see in other videos as well for parachutes, that you want to wind them end over to end. You want to do the end over end all the way up to the actual cord here. So go ahead and put this in, and we're going to have to scrunch this together a little bit. We got our Kevlar cord here and the Kevlar felt blanket. So we have everything snuggled into the blanket. We're just going to go ahead and push this into the rocket. And again, Kevlar likes to spring out. But this is an easy thing to do. You just put this in. The parachute's nice and squishy. This can go in very, very easily. And then we got the rest of the cord as we have before, and we just pack this on top. Again, Kevlar is like trying to stick a spring into the body tube. Okay, so there we go. Everything's inside. And notice again how close this is to the nose cone. So as the nose cone comes out, the parachute comes out, and now we're all set. Now let's check and see how well this opens up. We're just going to start pulling it apart. To pull this apart, we're going to have the cord on top, and then we're going to have the Kevlar felt blanket. Now this is going to unroll in the airstream, and as it does that, the parachute's going to fly out, and then this is going to simply unwind, and then it's going to open up. So this should work pretty well. And the next video I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to use a nylon parachute, because the nylon parachutes open a little bit easier than the plastic. You see the plastic, it stays wrinkled. And there are some ways that people use to mitigate this problem. Sometimes they'll use talcum powder on the parachute. But the thing about it, talcum powder isn't sold anymore. Talcum is considered a hazardous material. So nowadays they sell cornstarch as a talcum-like powder. Well, cornstarch is really nice if you're going to bake some cookies or something. So when you put the heat of the rocket on cornstarch on the parachute, all you're doing is going to just make it sticky. So that's going to probably make things worse, and I can't see any reason why it's going to be any better. But again, it goes back to the fact that these parachutes, being this type of plastic, yes, they're inexpensive, but they do not open very easily, and these plastic ones may have some problems. So okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work on the next step, which is using a parachute which is made out of nylon.